YouTube deleted our video.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice...
There's no justice!
What's eating you, CC?
YouTube deleted Star Wars Follies! What should I do?
I'd spin the world backwards in reverse time.
That's a stupid idea, Superman.
Worked for me.
Why don't you re-edit the video as a special edition?
How do I do that?
Well, 90% of it will be the same. Throw in a random scene with Jabba the Hutt and change some other junk, and you can call it a special edition. Problem solved.
Sounds promising. I think I'll try it.
We gotta get back to the past, to the 20th century. Digging through the bubble wrap into your memories. Back was the collector, he's protecting what we find. Relentless heavy rhythms keep us safe through time. RetroBlasting.
What's with the show?
Just the corners of your mind. RetroBlasting.
Why?
The stuff you love since you were nine.
Wireless.
We're blasting into the past to see what thrills still last.
I became a Star Wars fan in late 1982 upon seeing the first movie on a big screen TV, and it was truly life-changing. I started collecting the toys immediately. At first, I only had a few figures. The kids next door had all of these toys, like AT-AT walkers, Star Destroyers, these icy bunkers, and the like. What I didn't know was they were all from the previous film, The Empire Strikes Back. I saw Return of the Jedi in the theater that following summer, and when you're 5 years old, a movie like Return of the Jedi is a lot of fun. But when I saw The Empire Strikes Back, Jedi became this red-headed stepchild I didn't care about anymore. Here was the problem. Jedi toys were the ones filling the store shelves, making the Empire figures really hard to find, but I pursued them like a madman. Why? Because Star Wars playtime sucked with figures from Return of the Jedi. Every Star Wars movie was about huge firefights, and Return of the Jedi is no exception. If you wanted to recreate that action from the first two movies, no problem, because Kenner gave all the action figures guns. But they didn't get that memo on the Return of the Jedi toy line. All of those figures come with sticks. I'm not kidding. Sticks and medieval weapons. Half the figures are goofy lizards, teddy bears, and Muppets. It is lame. So imagine you're a 5-year-old kid. You've got 20 figures. Half of them have lost their weapons because the blasters are about this big. They're some of the smallest accessories that ever came with an action figure toy line. They go up vacuum cleaners and down floor vents just by telling a bad joke. So now you want Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker to face off in a battle. But you lost Luke Skywalker's lightsaber and he doesn't have a gun either. So what are you going to choose from? Well, I guess you've got an axe, you've got a spear, and you've got a big pool cue. It's like a scene from Ivanhoe.
Therefore, elect from axe or blade. I choose the axe.
Even figures that sounded like they should come with guns simply didn't. The Emperor's Royal Guard. He came with a pool cue. One figure, General Madine, you'd think he would have a gun. He's a general. Nope, he came with a little white stick. What was that for? PowerPoint presentations? They should have renamed that figure Major Letdown. I know you're probably thinking he has to be exaggerating. So, to prove to you that I'm not, I've put together a list of all the figures from all three films that came with lame accessories like sticks or spears or axes, and I've broken them down by what movie series they came from. So I don't pad the results. I'm not including figures that didn't come with any accessories at all. That means I'm not including droids or some of the lamest figures in the series like Anakin Skywalker. See, I'm being fair. I could have taken a cheap shot at Imperial dignitary, but he gets a pass on this one. That self-imposed rule alone deleted 6 figures from Jedi's list. I'm going to sit here while you read the list. I just picked up a great book about the making of the worst films ever made, and I've got a soda, so I'll be here when you get back. See what I mean? The Return of the Jedi action figure line is lame. But the biggest letdown happens to be the biggest toy of them all, the Ewok Village. The other films had far superior playsets. This busted up Death Star playset I got for $2 in a garage sale in '88 was completely broken, missing numerous pieces, and barely stood up, and it was still superior to the Ewok Village. There were even rumors when we were kids that another Death Star playset would be made. Too bad it never happened. I'd like to clarify something here. As much as I hate the Ewoks, I have no problem with the indoor forest setting. It's actually pretty cool. The Ewok Village playset could have been a rebel hideout or a commando base. But it looked like 3 big dead trees after a hurricane with a rock hanging off of it. It didn't look like a wooded hideout at all, just a sloppy treehouse. It was packed with dumb accessories like a drum for Ewoks to bang out their inane songs on, and that throne that C-3PO sits in. You remember that scene, right? The one in which our heroes deceive the natives into thinking they're gods? That's George Lucas's idea of heartwarming, duping tribal peoples. I mean, why don't they just have Han Solo and Chewbacca pass out blankets laden with smallpox too? But I digress. About 10 years after this, Kenner would re-release the Ewok Village playset, except this time it would be for Kevin Costner's Robin Hood Prince of Thieves toy line, and they'd call it the Sherwood Forest playset. They made some great improvements to the toy, but it's a lot more rare than the Ewok Village. For Star Wars collectors, I'd highly recommend tracking one down though. Let me show you why. Here's the Ewok Village, and here's the Sherwood Forest playset. It actually looks like a forest now. In addition to the green tree canopy, they also added ballistas to the railings to defend against invaders, and they deleted pointless features like the drum and the throne, which provides more play area for the action figures. The good stuff from the Ewok Village is still here. The elevator, the swinging boulder, and the capture net. It has a better color scheme as well, and looks like a place our heroes could hide out in and evade discovery. Plus, it's a far better display piece, isn't it? What I find amusing is the Robin Hood figures were taller overall than the Star Wars figures, but the playset was not scaled up to accommodate them, so it feels a bit miniature. But that's not a problem if you're using it as a substitute indoor playset, and you should.
This isn't exactly what I had in mind, Batman.